Top Hill Recording Podcast, episode 190. Believe it or not, special guest tonight, Zeno Jones.
Wound up in that same old easy chair.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Great song,
Thanks,
man.
guys. We've been gone so long, babe. Babe, I can't see your face. We've been gone so long, baby. Babe, I can't see your face no more. We've been gone so long, baby. Baby, I can't hear your voice. We've been gone so long, babe. I can't hear well. I can't hear, babe. I can't hear your voice. We've been gone so long, baby, baby. Baby, I can't feel your touch. We've been gone so long, baby. Baby, I can't feel lost my words, so well, you know I'm just some desperate man, babe. I lost my words, so well, you know I'm just chasing that sun out west. The onions run out of coal. Well, I'm sitting on the big four mile, waiting for my train to ride. Well, you know I'm just sitting on the big four, mama, waiting for my train to ride. Well, this track's been rustling over about 40 years. I ain't ever gonna catch my ride. Well, you know, I went to the doctor, babe. Saw my good gal sitting there. To the doctor, babe. Saw my good gal sitting there. Well, you know she's some one-eyed woman, babe. You know she ain't going nowhere. Well, my bed held her mama, well, by a top hat and walking cane. We know my bed held a mama, well, by a top hat and walking cane. Well, you know I've been rolling out of bed for 7 long years, babe. I still feel the same. Well, I got my ticket in hand. The moon sitting on top of my head. Well, you know I got my ticket in hand, baby. The moon right on top of my head. This midnight train, baby, well, it's rolling me right into my bed.
What's up, brother?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going good, man. How you doing?
It's good to be back.
Good to have you. I'm going to pull this up here one more time. Go ahead, Spencer. You got to get a shot of that, my man. Kick-ass new record that was dropped off at my house the other day. Thanks,
Dropped
sir.
off? Yeah, record in this room. So.
Yes. Hey, man, we even got a shout-out on here, which is, I think that's a first for me, so thank you.
Yeah, say it looks great. The CD looks great, too. Where did you get this stuff made?
I made it Atomic Disc.
Did you? I did
yeah.
the same for my CDs. Yeah, I was wondering because it seemed like a similar package. Yeah, they did a good job with my stuff, too. So
it came quick. It came way faster than I thought.
Way faster than I thought, too. I was like, what the hell's this box?
I have my release set.
Story
I had a
of my life, gentlemen.
for November 17th. I've had those things since the first week in August.
That's wild.
And it came way faster than I ever could have anticipated. It's wild.
So, is that like a internet site you can find and just order through?
Yeah, Atomic Disc.
Atomic Disc, yeah.
They did. Like, I got a different package, but yeah, I mean, they did a great job. I was very happy with the way mine came out. This looks fantastic. I love too. You got like all the credits at the bottom there. Like you went above and beyond to type all that stuff in that little that thing. I did not do that. So it looks good. Yeah, it looks really good. Did you do the album art or did you have someone do it?
I did.
Yeah, that looks really cool too, man.
Hey man, just kind of also, you never come empty-handed. Brad's missing out tonight, man. He's an Old Forester lover. So those single barrel, man, barrel strength. This is good stuff.
It's it's very good stuff.
And
we're on a 2-drink maximum tonight, or we're sleeping in Brad's house when he's
well. And Spencer gave me his because he couldn't handle his one. So
it's a little too much for me. I just can't.
It's all right, buddy.
I'm just now getting into bourbon. You know, it's a very acquired taste.
Here's what you should drink. You should drink Basil Hayden.
Basil Hayden?
Basil Hayden. It's 80 proof and it's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
It is good stuff. It's a good starter.
Okay.
You learned something today.
All right.
Basil Hayden bourbon. That's your go-to for a little bit.
Gotcha.
Just get some KG.
It's your gateway bourbon right there.
Yeah. So speaking of, I've got this little barrel strength in my hand. I've got a good friend. Actually, I won't say his name, just in case. But he works at the distillery where Basil Hayden comes through, and they had some barrel. They had to pull the plug and pull some, and I think they either emptied the barrel and there was a little left or something. But we ended up with some at the lake, and it was Basil Hayden. It was like 123 or 127, and working my job, I always get down late, and then I get to hear the stories about what happened on Saturday. And my dad was like, "Hey, this stuff, watch out," because he likes Basil Hayden, and he's not one to. I never really see him drunk, but I think that one might have got him a couple of times, man, because it tastes way too good. But Basil Hayden barrel strength.
Nothing tastes better than a bourbon that fell off the truck. You know what I mean? Like it got to you in a roundabout way. Yeah, those are the best bourbons.
Absolutely.
I had some Russell 10-year for. I had a friend who got me a case. I paid $40 for it. I said, okay, I'm not asking questions.
For a
just
case
give it to me.
Of Russell 10-year.
Yeah, this was like 6 years ago.
Oh.
I didn't have to buy bourbon for a real long time.
Oh my God,
that's a sweet deal.
And Russell 10-year is awesome.
It's great,
dude. So I had these videos and I figured something out. My head looks way bigger than Earl's because I'm all the way up in this thing. And
I'm leaning back against the wall.
Like, that's no fair, man. Come on with my big head. Well, Zeno, man, what have you been up to lately other than getting this record out? I know you just went through another kind of round of the blues competition down in Memphis as well, right?
Yeah, that was back in January.
Was that long ago?
It was, yeah.
Oh my gosh, time flies. Tell us about that one. I think the last time we had you in, you had just won the previous round that sent you into.
Yeah, so I won the Kentuckiana, then went down,
Yeah.
and then the same thing happened last year. I made the exact same day. I made it to the semifinals again.
No kidding.
Which, I mean, there's a lot of. I met some really cool guys down there. There were some guys from the Central Kentucky that I've been in touch with, and I helped kind of produce one of their EP that they put out. And so it's the connections you really make, because at the end of the day, it's judging music. I mean, how do you do that?
How do you do that? Yeah, that's interesting. When we talked about it last time, we were kind of just talking about the aspect of what it was like to go down and kind of compete. But you kind of touch on an interesting subject. You have this society of like-minded musicians that play the same type of style of music. How cool was it to kind of go down there and connect with a bunch of different? Did you get a chance to go see other stuff when you weren't playing and that type of? So
it's Beale Street, which is really like
crazy.
It's like 2 blocks, really.
Yeah.
Beale Street is of just club after club, and then in between there's like souvenir shop and like barbecue places. But you just hop from place to place. You get this little badge when you go down, and you just hop in. You see a band or you see a solo group. In one of the days I was there, I think I was like right in smack dab in the middle. So I just stayed in my place the whole time, and 9 people played over the course of like 4 hours.
That's crazy.
And got to see showcase. I mean, there's a group from France. The group from the Netherlands was amazing. There's Japanese groups there and everything. And then also like just from states all around. I think the guy from Oregon I met he had a great style too. I really liked it. So
when you hear,
I was just sitting there stealing stuff left and right. I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna remember that.
Man. It's flattery, right? So when you hear something from like the Netherlands or Japan or something, what is the difference in sound? Is it tonal? Is it style wise? Is it pretty kind of blues based?
Well, I play my style is very roots based. I mean, I'm very pre-war, and then I electrify it and put a lot of blasphemy into that type of pre-war type stuff, because people who usually are listening to that are very they're very strict and particular. Okay. They're like, this is kind of, you don't touch this, you don't mess with it, and I like to. But most people are doing
purist.
Yeah. And most people are playing kind of a Chicago style, kind of what you would expect if you went like into Stevie Ray's downtown in Louisville. That's typically kind of the style, though when it comes from the other countries is when there's just this new element that kind of gets brought into it, which is very, very cool. I remember the French guys were particularly experimental with what they were doing, and they actually got rewarded for it. They moved on the same distance as me. They might have made to the finals. They were just it was so interesting and unique. And it's so weird with blues, and particularly old blues. I was sitting there listening like, this isn't blues. And then like halfway through it, I'm like, but it kind of rocks. Like, it's awesome. And over time, you just kind of appreciate all these different influences coming from all over the world to come play in Memphis, where a lot of the really old styles kind of all converged on the major city in the area as it kind of migrated north, is Memphis, which is really cool.
So, and then you can answer this too, because I'm sure you've played some places where you've kind of taken a second to realize what you were doing. But did you do that when you were on Beale Street? You think of the musical history in those two blocks and the roots of so many amazing musicians and people that have come through. And back when it was in the on that circuit from Louisiana all the way up to Chicago, and to be a black musician, you had to find the right places and the right stops all the way up to that place to play, and really became part of the culture of blues music. Do you stop and just like remind yourself where you are?
Last year, I absolutely did not. I was a nervous wreck. It was like the third show I've had. So it was down there. Like I wasn't expecting to go down there. So it was very nerve-wracking last year. This year, I definitely tried to stop and do that, and tried to make sure I kind of got around. And they have like a little Hall of Fame, Hollywood Walk of Fame type thing, and on the sidewalks in Memphis, everything you'd walk by, like B.B. King's letter or star, and there's all sorts of, though Justin Timberlake has one too, because he's from Memphis. That one took me by surprise to be on Beale Street.
JT's the man, dude. I don't care what anybody said. You can snicker over there, man. JT.
Yeah, I mean, he's
amazing.
He's probably the most famous person ever come out of Memphis.
He's from Memphis too. That's so funny.
Yeah, man. I could just imagine. How about you? You ever like?
Oh yeah, when I'm playing Mag Bar and I'm like, man, think of all the
cars that have hit this place.
It ran right through the fucking building.
All the bumpers that are critical to the foundation
all the people
of this
who have pissed all over the bathroom floor in this fine establishment.
Oh Lord, yes, I can imagine, dude. So we're trying this new format, and I find it cool, especially for people that have come back. Like we had Dusty on the last episode, and then you coming back, to hear evolution in the songwriting. And even you said some of those were older songs.
Yeah.
And then some were new. The last couple, I think, were new. Was the last one new as well?
No, three of them were pretty old, and then the third one.
Okay. It's crazy to hear the evolution, the style switch up. There's the progression in your playing. I mean, honestly, it's just the cleaning up of stuff over time. Just seeing an evolution of a player and a musician and a writer is always interesting. And even the third song, it's it's not like you have to lean in. It's not the one where it's in your face, coming at you. Which you had songs in the previous where it was also lean in, but these seem so more specific for your playing. I mean, it really highlights what you're doing and what you're playing. And then vocally and lyrically, just man, I really dug the stuff we heard tonight too, and just the fact that it was so at odds with something just different.
Thank you,
man. It was cool. It was killer for me.
I have a pretty big challenge, I think, because I go out and I play this. Lately I've been doing I have a show a week, and I'm playing original, pre-war based blues music with a suitcase drum and a hi-hat, and so I don't have very much variation on the beat. So it's really and also I'm playing my own bass line a lot of the time, so I have to have open positions all the time for my thumb. So I have very limited keys in what I can do. So I'm trying to expand that out as time goes on, but the rhythm and the feel and everything, that's really the variation that I've kind of got. And over time, I've really tried to hone in on that and spread out things so it's less monotonous, because I really like playing the ones that are a little bit fast. I got both feet going, and it's boom, boom, boom. But that gets very old very fast, especially if you're trying to enjoy a drink, which, most places I'm at, it's a bar that somebody's just trying to, they'll catch the music while they're out there, but they're also talking and hanging out and stuff. It's more about creating a vibe.
Yeah. I say that's definitely always my fear too, is feeling very monotonous. And I only heard a couple songs tonight, but it did not feel monotonous at all. I loved it, man. You're a great writer, great picking. You have a killer tone on that guitar. I love the way you write. I love to write something with you. You write great songs. It's definitely my speed too. So great stuff. It's always cool. This is my favorite thing to do on Mondays. Come in here and
it never sucks.
Get to meet new people and hear new music, man, because it's really good stuff. And it's definitely my fear too, is feeling boring. No one wants to be boring, or you're doing the same thing. And I play a lot of most of my songs are in 12 bar, and you'd be like, is this the same as before? But it did not. I know you just did a few songs, but it did not feel boring. It did not feel the same. It was a lot of fun. I can't wait to listen to the album. I checked out your Spotify stuff earlier today, but I'm excited to listen to more, because you're great, man. I don't know how long is your normal set, when you play? I don't know, you said you got
a 3 hour.
So
of originals,
it's
you throw in some other stuff.
It's 60% originals.
Yeah.
And then half of the rest is is obscure stuff that nobody knows. That's just because, to be honest, I kind of want to play things that people know, but to fit into my style and to fit into how I play it, I've fallen back to, I have to be very, very familiar with it to kind of change it up to that point. And it's just kind of what I listen to. It's not that I'm just I play stuff that no one's ever heard before. I had a guy ask me to play a Tom Petty song last weekend, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Another guy yelling at me to play Steely Dan, and I kept saying, it's up next. Just keep waiting around. It's Freebird, then Steely Dan. It's coming. Just hang around. But the guy genuinely wanted to hear a Tom Petty song. I was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know any Tom Petty songs.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
people don't always get that. Sometimes if it's outside of your wheelhouse, it's just you don't want to play something you think's gonna be shitty. If you're just I play what I play, and people ask me to do covers sometime, I'm like, I don't really do a lot of covers. I do a few that I feel like I can do. Otherwise, I would rather not try.
I don't really consider myself much of a musician. I'm a guitar player, and I have songs. But you go down, Beale Street, for example, the house bands at those bars, you go up and say any song that's ever existed, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll play that. And they have an original spin on it. It sounds amazing. Everyone is in sync. There's 6-piece bands that are just perfectly in sync. They're like, okay, let's do this. And you can tell one of them is I've never played this song, but they figure it out.
Oh yeah.
And that's a completely different thing. Nashville, I'm sure, is the same way too. So it's been a while since I've been down in Nashville.
Yeah, that's all changed quite a lot since the invention of the iPad, man. The invention of the iPad changed
and everybody's
the
just
game.
sure, we can do that one.
What's the lyrics? All right, so Nashville, it's 135, 145, 145, 2. Okay, got it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see. Down in New Orleans, you can do that too. We're hey, play this. They're sure, yeah, and it's very neat.
I think what you end up finding out, and you guys have played enough gigs, all of us, Spencer included, have played enough gigs that there's 90% of the songs are the same 15 songs, and then there's the other 10% that you're like, really? Yeah, like Steely Dan, really? All right, no.
Someone in
cool.
Yeah, and there's memorizing and learning that variety and stuff like that. At the real pros, these guys in Memphis, they did not have iPads.
Yeah.
They just knew it. But I mean, somebody asked me once how you, because I played for 3 hours, and a lot of my songs are pretty short, so I have a lot of songs. And they say, how do you remember all those songs? And I said, between you, me, and the wall, they're all kind of the same.
Yeah.
And like guitar players, especially good ones, they will come up and be like, I saw what you were doing. And basically, it's pretty formulaic. Now I try and hide that as much as possible.
Yeah.
But a guitar player knows what they're doing. They immediately see it. And if I can kind of tell that that's what's happening, I get pretty nervous. I'm like, oh man, I got to really mix it up.
Dude.
Yeah, I feel, because like I said, all mine are like, most of my songs are 12-bar blues, so it's the same way. It's nice when I have guitar players come to sit in, because I'm like, don't worry, man, they're all
Play
the
all
same,
night.
it's the same songs. But yeah, there's sometimes when you see like an obvious musician out there, and you're just like, yeah, it's the same, it's Key of E again. I'm sorry.
He sees it right away. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You laughed over there when you said that your songs are short and you got to play a lot, because I thought about Tyler Lance Walker.
I did
Gill,
too,
dude.
yeah.
I knew that's why you laughed, because he plays this set of
Roger Miller. He does
songs.
a full Roger Miller set, and all those songs
Dude.
are like 2 minutes.
Well,
Really?
were you at the Top Hill when he played?
No.
Okay, he did a Top Hill sessions at the BA Colonial.
Yeah,
at
okay,
Colonial Gardens, and he's like, when I asked him to do it, or us, I don't remember how we asked him. He's like, yeah, but I'm not going to do my originals. That's silly. Nobody wants. He just thinks like doing originals. People, the way that I took it was like nobody wants to hear that. I'm not going to do my song. That's silly. When his songs are awesome. I love his stuff.
Yeah.
He played Yard Sailing on this show. I've said it a million times. I swear I listened to that thing 500 times.
Yeah. He's a
just
great.
because it's catchy as hell.
He loves those short songs.
He came and did an hour-long Roger Miller set, dude, and had everybody on the edge of their seat, and he sang like 40 songs in an
30,
hour.
40
It
There
was
are so many
crazy.
words in those songs.
It's
like
so
it's
wordy.
crazy,
and he knows them all.
He knows them all.
He knows all this. I mean, dude, but that would intimidate the shit out of me to think I'd have to know that many words.
Yeah,
Anybody's words.
Yeah, I know. That's why, like, people ask me why I don't do covers. I'm always like, because I can't fucking sing. And if someone wants to hear like the original, they should go hear it.
It's
like,
really hard for someone to know you're messing up your own
I
song.
know. Yeah, it's just
You're like, no,
and
that's
it's
what we're
how-
supposed to sound
I
like.
wrote it that way
Yeah,
for
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
reason. I like that bad note in the middle.
It was a key change for 2 syllables, and then the key
Right
changes
back.
back to the original. Yeah, it's very advanced. You wouldn't
I wrote
understand.
that voice cracking. I like it. I think it's something not enough people do.
It's in a lot of my songs, that voice crack. Just listen closer. Dude, so, I think that my wife, when I was playing a ton back in the day, she would freak me out, because if I played a slow song, I was like, you can't play slow songs. Because I would play at bars mostly and places like that, especially if I was trying to pay bills and not doing original shows. And I think that playing those places does get you in the thought process that when you do play an original show, you can't do the slower stuff that people lean into. You just have to do it. You have to trust yourself and the song.
It's tough.
And because I think of like Lee, Glory Days, and Scott Smith, and sitting around that songwriter group at the Monarch the first time and hearing the stuff that they're doing, it's slow, and you lean in because it's that feeling it elicits, and they have the ability to do that on any stage, and people do have that ability to do that, but having the courage to go, no, this is the song.
Yeah.
I'm not speeding it up.
It's hard to do.
It's
I mean, and it's hard to for me, it's like knowing the place too. There's sometimes depending on the crowd, like I have some slow songs that I'll break out on occasion, but if the crowd is shitty and they're not going to be listening, I'd rather just play the bangers.
Well, the energy's got to be there, right? I mean, also if like the energy is very positive, and actually it's kind of, they're not really paying much attention to you, a slow song kind of breaks it up, and the crowd still is kind of doing their thing, and it feels good. And then if they're really listening, which, for everyone that's gigging around town and doing, show at a bar every weekend, if you can have one off where people are actually listening, that's your favorite show.
Yeah.
I'd do it for free every time if I could, if I could get a regular gig like that. But it depends. The energy can be really high, and they can kind of just be background music, and you feel like you're doing your job, or they're listening in really. But if it's kind of somewhere in the middle, and they're kind of looking at you to set the mood and everything, and you go into this slow song that they've never heard before, it kind of kills the room.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll skip if it feels wrong. Something I've I've been playing out now like a year and a half now. In the last few months, I've been like, it feels wrong right now. I'm not doing that song.
Mhm.
I'll come back to it after I kind of pick up,
Yeah.
get everybody talking a little bit more, kind of
You
get
hear
the
that?
vibes. Of the
I do
group.
that a
over
lot.
there?
Yeah.
Dude. So I'm the master. I would get people so frustrated because I like Spencer many times. Hey Spencer, put a set list together, man. I hate
my
doing
God.
it. I hate putting set lists together. Go
Jesus.
put a set list together. All right. And he printed it out and bring it to the thing and
Made it look all nice and
we
everything.
have copies for everybody, and we'd go and we'd start and we'd get one song in. I'd be like, all right, we're skipping the next song. We're going to the fourth song. Okay, we're gonna do it because that's what you gotta go. Where are we at?
You get a little nervous sometimes when you look out there and you go, okay, that one didn't land maybe quite how I thought.
Or-
Like,
Yeah.
what do I do next?
Or it did, and if we play this next song,
Yeah,
it's not
you-
gonna keep it going, and we've got to figure out how to.
I have, like, for my set list, I have it taped on top of my guitar, and it's pretty set. Like, my set is,
Yeah.
my long set is about an
Is that
an
what's up
hour.
there?
Yeah, it is. It's taped on my guitar, and I have it set up where I can skip songs if I need to, or if we're doing a shorter set, I know the ones I want to skip, and I'm just like, this is the set. And then if the crowd is shitty, I skip the
Is
kind
that
of
all your
personal ones.
songs on there?
Not all of them, just
the ones you actually play
just
out?
the ones I play out for the most part.
No, like setting. So I have two set lists that I do, and I try to switch them every time I'm at a venue because I have a few regular gigs. So I'm just like, okay, I don't want to. I'm playing the same songs, but at least in a different order.
Sure.
It kind of mixes it up. But I have these intros that I kind of do, especially if you start a show at like 7.
Oh
People
yeah.
are barely in there. Especially if it's a place that doesn't sell any food, it's just drinks. 7's pretty early, so
Mhm.
you're kind of building up and everything like that. I'm just kind of here. Then all of a sudden, enough people come in where you can kind of take it up a notch, which is great when that happens.
Yeah.
But
Dude. Yeah, so set lists. Earl is going to let me tag along and play a show coming up in December. And which, by the way, man, Spencer over there, congratulations on the new gig, buddy.
Well, thank you.
Hey,
Thank you. Thank
you'll
you
be
very
tagging
much.
along for that one. I'll
Yeah,
be
you-
watching you.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, Earl. You got yourself a
A new guitar player.
real.
just don't let him make the set list. Apparently,
Oh,
'cause
no, he won't be near the set list.
He can, but just don't follow it.
That's what I'll make him make one every time,
No.
and then I'll wad it right in the
No,
garbage.
he gets in
Actually-
front of- no, he makes good ones. It's always my fault. I mean, I try.
I feel it. Like I said, it took me forever to make the one I have, and then even then, sometimes I'm like, "All right, here comes a slow one." I'm like, I don't know if I want to.
All right,
Like,
so I'm kind of at that point of figuring out what I even know of mine or have or anything like that. So it's interesting. We're just talking about set lists and not doing stuff you used to do all the time, and kind of like tonight for you, doing stuff that you haven't done in here before, and figuring out that path and wondering. It's wild when you really think about setting up a show, because that is a big part of not just setting up a show, but actually the performance of the show. How do you get people out? How do you draw people in? How do you get people to stay engaged? It is such a hard road that you've been in here. I've said 57 times in the last sentence, but we've had plenty of people in here that you see, and sometimes for the first time, sometimes you're familiar with, and you listen and it's so good, and then you go to a show or they have a show and there's pictures online and there's just the attendance is low, and you're like, how in the world is it possible
yeah.
that there's this much good music, there's this many places that are, Louisville's got some great live music spots, and how do you get people engaged to come out?
I wish I knew.
I've heard you all talk about this because I listen to the podcast every
Yeah.
week, and
Thank you.
and I think maybe we are a little bit oversaturated, at least for we've got, because there's a lot of good talent here, and
Yeah.
I'm mostly in like the blues side of it, and I'm bleeding over a little bit more. Ryan does Quiet Confidence. I met
Yeah.
him,
Great
and
dude.
I've talked with him and everything, and he does stuff that's completely different. But like the
Yeah.
amount of talent in the city is too much for the patronage.
I've said that on here before, that I feel like I think it's like it's a good and a bad thing. Like there's so many
Yeah.
like legit fantastic acts in this city. Like I'm in the country world, and in that world there are so many. It's crazy. And then you get out and watch other shows, and there's all these bands, and you go out and you watch them and you go, holy fuck, these guys fucking rock. And then you look around and you go, wow, these 3 other people agree that this this band rocks.
Yeah, these
It's tough.
That one table of theirs really digging it.
Yeah, because every day, I mean, there's a good show somewhere in the city.
There really is.
I think it's great that we have a lot of good acts, and I know that's kind of the main thing people complain about if you are an artist is that it's hard to get people to come out. And it's just there's a lot of shows. Like there's so many times where I like feel like I booked a good show, and I'm like fucking yeah, and then I go look and I go oh man, there's 3 other. Yeah, it's like oh everybody who's gonna want to come is gonna be going to this other show, and it's just like the way it is. It's really hard to. I like that we have a lot of good acts. I think it's cool. It'd be nice to have more people come out.
And it's, you want more people to come out, but you don't want it to have to rely on your artist friends to be the people that
No, you don't want
to
to have to.
Yeah, I know. You don't want that same $5 bill going from tip jar to tip jar to tip jar
Yeah.
of each
I've
musician.
done it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have it in my wallet right now.
It's
going to the next show I'm going to. Just
hopefully
it'll
it'll make it back to me at some point.
Oh yeah, it always comes around. It always does.
It's weird, man. It's weird. This whole
But
music.
it
thing.
is. It's tough. I mean, I'm glad we live here. I think it's cool that we have a lot of good acts, and I mean, there's some that really have figured it out, and I think it's tough. Every time I'm on the podcast, I say that's the hardest thing about music is you have to do every aspect of it, from writing to recording. You have to figure out. You have to book. Most people are booking their own shows. You're writing your own set lists. You're doing everything. I mean, it's really tough. No one's going to be perfect at everything. The more things you're good at, the better you will do. And there's some things that are more important than others. I mean, you don't even have to have the most talent if you're better at talking with people. Like as long as you have some talent, if you have a lot of talent but can't talk to anybody, that's not going to be real helpful either. It's really tough. It's like it's a balance, and it's trying to.
There are some things that I am like a 9 or a 10 for at least what I'm trying to do, at least my own self grading or for what I'm trying to achieve. But there's some things I'll admit like I'm a 1 or a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I just don't do it. Like
the good part is knowing what you're a 1 and a 2 at.
I did a festival in Southern Indiana Blues, and they asked you to do a promo video for social media. So like take a video, say, hey, I'm gonna be such and such, such and such. I physically could not get myself to do it. I sat there for a bit, like trying to do. I did like 1 or 2. I'm like, that's the worst thing that's ever been put to video. Delete that. I'll try again. And after a while, I'm just like, you know what? I don't have to do this. Like I mean, what are they going to do? Tell me not to come? And because I could not bring myself to do it. And there's other bands who are more successful than I am that get more traction whenever they go. They do that type of stuff.
Yeah, videos like that is something I'm also really bad at. Is like whether it's like TikTok or just Instagram. Like it seems so easy. Just go, what's up, guys? I'm here at Top Hill today. Chilling. Like I hate it, and if I have to listen to myself say that, I will throw my phone on the ground. Like it is horrifying.
The key is just don't listen back.
You can't
just do it once and let it go.
I hate listening to when I record stuff at the studio. I hate hearing my own voice. I hate it's hard to do. That's
why
it's awkward.
That's why I have very little out there these days, dude. The last time, so we had a recording session fall through, and I was like, all right, screw it, dude. I'm gonna sit in here and I'm gonna do this song. And I did it like 6 times, and I got through it, most of it, and I would just, And then I stopped, and I went, all right, I'm done. I just turned everything off and left. I said, that's it. It's just not worth it. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to listen to myself.
Isn't it so funny that we want to play music? We want people to hear it. But then it's like, what do you think about it? It's like, well, don't ask me.
It's like, I hate it. Yeah, it's like,
I'm terrible. And I would not suggest anyone listen to it. But also, come out next week.
Yeah, it's like, please come out. Please come out. I'm terrible.
God,
I hate everything
point.
I do. It's like, I don't know if you ever, with your stuff, if you ever like submit to playlists and things, but I do.
Yeah,
and
usually.
the reviews that you get are always like awful. It's
out of memory.
Terrible.
Did it just happen? All right, dude. Big snafu technical difficulty we just had. I think you all probably been watching a logo. If you're watching this on on YouTube, there ain't no telling what you've been watching for the last 15 minutes or so. But it happens. I put that on me. I should have erased some of that prior to. I thought I did the other day, but it happens. So I wonder if we can just record to that for now on. Yeah. We're going to do that next time. All right. Then we won't have any issues. All right. So who knows where we were?
I have no idea.
The good news is it's time for Weston's questions.
Yeah.
So Earl, my man.
All right.
I know you, since you listen to the podcast, you should know these, man. You should be ready.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, good. They've changed. They're all much tougher now. No, they're the same. The first one is just tell us a non-music thing about you that you want people to know. It can be anything you want.
So this is the one I don't.
Yeah, no one
really
want
to do this one.
Oh, I love it.
I guess my wife and I really like movies. Like before we just had a baby. Before that,
Congratulations.
thank you.
How old's the baby?
7 months.
7
Yeah.
months, oh baby.
But we would go to the movies once or twice a month. Like,
Okay.
we love going to the movies, and I mean, we would see all the Oscars that come out.
Okay.
But we also will never miss a Fast and Furious in theaters because they're the funniest, best movies probably ever made by humans. But we always, like I said, we see all kinds of movies. And then when stuff comes out, something's out at home where I can see more rare things at home or something like that. When she's gone, I'll put on stuff like that.
All right, follow up.
I'm not a buff. I do not know anything about it. I just like them.
All right,
like I couldn't tell you anything about them.
Follow-up question. What's the latest movie you've seen? Either at home or at the movies. At home. At home first.
At home,
At home.
we just watched all the Bournes because my wife had never seen them.
What?
And
That's a great series.
she told me that. I'm just like, oh, okay, sold. We're absolutely watching it. And then theater, I just saw The Creator.
How was that?
It was pretty good. I mean, like it stumbled a couple places, but like visually, it's amazing. It's a pretty cool original story. I really liked it. I actually saw it twice. But we just love going and getting a big old Diet Coke and watching it in the theater, trying not to go to the bathroom before the end ends and failing every time. But that's why I had to go twice. I missed part of it.
Dude, I was going to say, the older you get, the quicker you go to that bathroom, too. So. All right, so best movie of the year so far?
We haven't seen, so we had the baby. We've gone to very few.
I'd imagine so.
We did Barbenheimer. And I loved that. That was a great weekend. We got both grandparents did one day, the other ones did the other. That was a lot of fun. Nothing really stands out to me this year. Nothing really stands out to me this year as like the absolute best.
What about last year? What was your favorite movie before the baby?
Should have thought this. I don't know. I watched too many.
What was your least favorite movie that you remember seeing recently in any amount of time?
Well, in any amount of time?
In the last like year or two, like what's the worst movie you've seen if you've watched? I mean, you know you haven't seen some bad ones.
I don't watch very many movies that I don't like because I mean
You
that's
just
the thing.
like
I like
movies.
almost all movies because if a movie is so bad, there's a podcast called How Did This Get Made where they talk about really
yeah.
bad movies. I love a really terrible movie. It is a great time. I've basically found a way to like almost anything. There's very few movies I turn off.
Samurai Cop, check it out.
Check out Samurai Cop?
Samurai Cop. It is a horrible. It's a horrible
It's
movie.
that bad.
I watched Moonfall a couple years or last year. That's terrible. There's almost nothing redeemable. It. It's not even fun. It's just it's just a
it's
bad
bad.
movie. That's all I can really think of.
Watched The Machine recently. It was worth it. It was laugh. It made me laugh a little bit here and there. It's pretty good. Bert Kreischer. Check it out. All right, I think that's enough follow-ups with
Yeah,
that.
we'll
Number
move
one
on to the
question.
next question. Tell us about like a nightmare gig or just something funny or memorable that's happened. I know you said you've been playing out about a year and a half, so I'm sure you've run
I've had
into
a good
a couple things.
so I've been playing out with this setup like a year and a half. I took like almost a 10-year break from back in college. Back in college, once I played at the Monkey Wrench and it was a full room and no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
It was so dead. But recently, I played at I knew what the story was going to be, and I wasn't going to say the name of the place, but they actually just invited me back. I have no idea why. So I played at the Village Anchor in Anchorage, and they have a bar called the Sea Hag. They're like, so we want you to play at our bar. I'm like, okay, I'm playing at a bar, and you all have seen my style. You've heard my album. You know the type of thing I'm doing. I'm like, okay, that better be a bar. And I show up, and nope, there's white napkins on the tables.
Oh,
People are going
no.
there, and I'm just like, I don't fit in this vibe at all. It was like 100 degrees and 100% humidity. Like I was dying up there. And then in walks, sits down right in front of me, as close as you all are to me right now, Daryl Isaacs, the heavy
The
fucking
hammer?
hitter. The hammer.
The hammer came
The hammer
in?
or the heavy hitter, whatever he's called now. He sits down as far away from you all to me. And I am not joking when I say that man did not so much as tap his foot the whole time. It was the most distracting thing possible because I'm just like, that's the hammer. He's right there. He does Super Bowl commercials. He's sitting there. He did not
Oh,
I was
I would be
inconveniencing
dying.
him so much. It was so weird. And then the place cleared out 30 minutes early. Manager came in and said, "You can stop if you want," which is
Ooh.
awful. And I
That's
was
the
like, okay,
worst.
well, give me my check and I'll never come to this side of town
Oh,
again.
man.
I'm sorry for what I've done to your nice little
I'm
community
sorry for
here.
what I've done.
And then, but like a month ago, they said, "Hey, I got another thing going. I'm playing there like next week." I
Are
could
you
not
kidding?
believe it. I said, "Okay, yeah, I'll come back."
It's like,
I'll
all
come
right,
back."
if you've forgotten.
As long as the hammer's invited, or whatever his name is these days. I know
I
he's
think Sam Aguiar's coming this time.
Yeah, that was really rough to get through because
Dude.
it was just so bizarre.
Yeah, that sucks.
Should have played like all the old MC Hammer hits. Hammer don't hurt him, all that shit, dude. Anything you could
He'd
have
probably be
think of.
fucking pissed, man.
He probably would. He doesn't look like he has a sense of humor.
Yeah, maybe
He
I
needs
blacked
to
out and I
you.
was doing
He
a lot of
doesn't.
hammer jokes, and maybe that's
Dude,
why he
that's
was.
why.
Yeah. All right, let's hammer this one home.
Actually,
I
I
really
heard-
hit the nail on the head that one.
Hey, Village Anchor hates that guy. That's why you got invited back. That's
yeah,
what I heard.
probably.
Yeah, he must have sued him.
Yeah.
He heard there was bad entertainment. He sued him for bad entertainment one day, and they're like, "Screw you, we're gonna invite him back." Like, come on, man.
Fuck
It's not
the
bad
hammer.
entertainment.
But that
It's the
show
right spot.
that
for the
show
right
was going
place.
bad enough to the point where I was just like, screw it, and that's kind of win.
Probably
Because
were awesome.
well, all of my songs, I have two versions basically. I have a vibes background kind of version where I'm playing a little bit quieter,
All right.
a little bit smoother, and then if the place is really rocking, whether it's for me or just kind of in general, I just kind of go at it. And I start off pretty smooth and just nothing was happening. So I said, screw it. I'll just play my set that I like to play,
Hell
which
yeah,
dude, I've
dude.
done that. Yeah, it's
Hell
just like
yeah.
fuck it, I'm gonna play what I want to play anyway, and no one and have fun, and no one give a fuck, and you
Yeah.
go home.
And those are the
hope
shows-
check is signed.
those are the reasons why my stuff is falling apart. Like all my the foot pedals on the hi-hat, that's busted. I just snapped the hammer on my foot pedal on my suitcase. It's all falling apart.
That takes some torque, dude. That
I don't
takes
know.
some torque.
Well, that's acoustic, and I haven't found a really elegant way to amplify that at all. So I'm really hitting that thing.
Oh, you don't mic it or nothing? You're
Oh.
just hitting it.
Not usually,
Yeah.
no, because most of the places I'm playing at don't have a PA. Now, if the place with a PA, I'm like, yeah, mic that, and that just brings up the sound to a whole new level. But
Sure.
most bars I'm playing at, all my regular gigs, I have my own system. And when I say a system, I mean it's another guitar amp that I put my vocals through.
I feel I
Because-
just use a stage
I don't wanna-
monitor that I just point outwards.
Yeah, I don't want to go buy a PA, so that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm really trying to amplify on that thing, and that's why that metal rod snapped.
So, dude, I mean, like you're using an old vintage suitcase. How hard are those to come by?
I don't know. There's plenty. There's plenty. Actually, there's more than you would think
Really?
in antique shops.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I had a bunch to
Goodwill and
choose from
places
when I
have
went to
them.
look.
Really?
Yeah.
I bought a set for $50.
You bought a whole set.
Well,
I mean, a few.
I say
yeah,
a set.
yeah,
There were two,
Yeah.
and then like I said, like I was saying earlier when we were setting up, somebody said I have one of those, and they brought it like 6 months to a year later, just saying, "Here, I said I'd bring this to you." I
No
didn't.
kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, that's
it was real
cool.
nice. It was real nice of them. I couldn't believe they.
So,
remembered
do you
me.
have extras?
I have two extras. I have one for
Are they-
practice and one I haven't even set up yet.
Does it have the Zeno Jones on it and ready to roll?
No, I've got to do that again.
Hey, man, let's go. We got to be able to pull it out just in case, man. You know,
I know.
you never know. You already broke a beater. I mean, you could
I
probably
know.
punch a hole through a
I
case.
probably should just bring them all like Russian nesting doll. Them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
all
my
three in
God. You
there.
know how
That
cool
would be
that would
so
be.
cool.
You know how
Yeah.
it'd be even cooler if you could do it like that and then have like 6 different foot pedals and then play them all. You know, that'd be even crazier.
Yeah, that would
Pretty
be.
nuts.
That I'll have to practice that one.
You're already. Yeah, I think you already got enough going on between the feet and the hands. You know, you probably
Yeah.
don't need any more to do.
All right, I guess we're on to the final question. Who is the last local artist you listened to? And it can be local to the city, or if it's been a bit, it can be like regional as well.
All right, I've got two. So, one, it's been in my CD. It's been in my car. I still have a CD player in my car, which is real
Hell
nice.
yeah, dude.
And so, a member of the Blues Society named Keith came. He's like one of the founding members. So he's been on this board for like 30 years. And he came to one of my shows down Old Louisville, and which is where the album was. Everything's kind of based there because that's where I was when I was writing a bunch of the stuff. The picture on the front is Old Louisville Brewery before it was remodeled, where I'm playing into it. And so I was playing there, and he said he had a CD he wanted to give me. And I said, well, I'll trade you. And I traded him my new one that, like I said, came earlier than I thought it was. And he gave me an album of a group called Henry and the Noisemakers. and it's recorded in 1989 or 88 at a place called, it's either the Cherokee Blues Club or the place called the Pleasure Inn, which is downtown. It's like 9th and St. Catherine or something like that. One of those cross streets from old Louisville, and it's on 9th, 8th or 9th, and it's closed. It's not a thing anymore. But this guy is amazing, and this is an amazing, very unique record because someone just recorded it. You know, like this guy played there every week. He played at this place, and he was fueled by vodka. If you wanted him to love you forever, you bought him a bottle of vodka and took it up. At least this is the story that was told to me. And so I have this very poor recording of this amazing performance of a guy who's up there chugging vodka, and his thing was he had a wah pedal. That was it. You know, no distortion or anything. He would just play, and he just played covers. But like this is the vibes and everything. Super cool. It's probably one of the most unique pieces of music that I now own because I traded my album for it with Keith Clements, and now I'm going to make another album just so I can trade another. I'm just like, give me something just as good as that, and I'll just keep making albums so I can keep trading those out.
What type of covers?
They're all blues and soul and stuff like that.
Blues,
yeah.
What was the name again?
Henry and the Noisemakers.
Henry and the Noisemakers.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have to hear that, dude.
Yeah.
I have to hear that record. Next time you come up, I'm sure you'll be on again. You got to bring it.
I have it. It's in my car.
Oh, it's in the car. That's the one that's in there now?
Yeah, it's in there right now.
Dude, I got to hear a little bit of it.
The other local one I've been listening to, so actually this goes with kind of a backstory, but my barber left, which was rough. You have a guy that's been going to for like a bunch of years, and then he's going to have to find a new one. And I found this guy at the same place and went in and kind of doing the introductions and talking and everything. And I finally got up the courage to finally say, when they say, "What do you do?" I say, well, I work, but I'm also a musician. This is like the first time I've ever introduced myself as being a musician, and he was too. And I was just talking and kind of brought Topple up, and he had been on it.
Frankie Leo. I knew it.
Yeah.
Frankie Leo's a bad.
Yeah.
He's a awesome. bad dude.
He is.
He's so good.
And I was telling him like, oh, I recorded with them. I'm like, they've got great setup, great equipment in there. If you ever need to do something, you know. I thought it was great here, and Brad did exactly what I kind of wanted. And then I listened to his stuff later. I'm like, oh, he's a few steps above me. I don't know if he could. I don't know if what he needs to do could handle here. But that was a cool little thing. And yeah, I've been listening to a little bit of him.
Yeah, he's I've watched. Paid attention to he did some cool stuff. You know, we talk about recording ourselves, and I don't know if he has that issue or not, because he kind of goes away for periods of time, then he'll come back and record some stuff. He did a lot of cover stuff on TikTok that was just mind-blowing, dude. He's so his voice is so good. He's so polished, such a pro. And
yeah, very, very professional.
Yeah, and just another one. I don't know if it's if he gets as much credit as he should get. And it may be part of how you talked about earlier. You do a bunch of stuff well, and then you do other things not well. I don't know if his is a promotion thing, because I just think, like, talent-wise, as far as playing and singing, he's got one of the better voices I've heard ever. It's beautiful. But yeah, man, that's interesting. You bring him up. He's great. He's great.
Yeah.
He's my barber as well, and
so you're saying he can do all styles?
Yes,
all different kinds of hair.
Yes, he can. He is extremely talented, not only as being a musician, but also as a barber. But I actually got into a conversation with him, and it's actually something I want to ask everybody. To him, because I remember, he was cutting me up and getting my hair looking right.
You ain't never been cut up, bro. You might have been trimmed a little bit.
Oh,
but
no,
the hair like that,
no.
You don't
it's
get
underneath.
Cut up.
It's the underneath that you don't see. And but I was
just
like,
tell him
man,
to do the loose ends or anything.
Yeah, dude, he just shaves neck.
He just exactly. I was like, man, why don't you're so freaking good. I mean, you are so. I mean, the songs that he writes, and everything that you guys were saying, his voice, his actual playing style.
Yeah, his last record was crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. And I mean, at least I know for me, it's one of the top 10 of the year for me.
Yeah, I mean, that guitar run on that freaking intro tune's just sick. He played that here. It was awesome.
Yeah, but to the question, he just said that the reason why he doesn't really play out all that much is one, because of the booking aspect, but also two, because he just really loves having that time with his family. And he loves being a barber. Like he said that he loves cutting hair, and that he loves that he can make his own schedule and do his own thing. And to him, he just loves going out every once in a great while and just playing.
I'll give my answer, and then you guys can give yours. But I think it's different strokes for different folks. I mean, some people have a vision of playing the big stages, doing those things, and some people just don't. They have a creative mind, and they're like, if Frankie, just as an example, if his creativity is I'm writing these songs and I want to record, and then after that I don't really care. I've done the thing to get it out there. Like, you know, look at the great painters back in the day, the Picassos and the I don't necessarily know how deep you can go with that, but a lot of those people didn't get famous until later on, because it wasn't about, you know, trying to do something that was popular. It was just they had to do something because they couldn't not do it. You know, and some people just have that type of thing where, look, I've got to write this song, because if I don't, it's going to kill me. I've just got to get it out. It's going to be here if I don't, and why not? You know, and maybe there are a lot more of those people in the world than people that really, really are doing everything in their power to get to a point where their career is music. You know, their life is music, and not only are they making money, but they're thriving, because that is I think the one thing that you learn inside this room is music is a tough go of it for the best of them. And you've got to dedicate. Like I said earlier, we had Dusty in here last week, and he is making a go at making music his life. He's doing the trips. He's no full-time job, putting in the hours, doing the interviews, making the contacts to the people that he needs to, and keeping those things rolling. Where, like, you know, me, for example, Frankie, a ton of people where you can write 1 million songs, but if you don't want to make a phone call to book a gig, then you just aren't going to be heard outside of whatever, you know, you do. So I think it's just different strokes.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately the thing that anyone who wants to do music has in common is that you have this need to make something. And then beyond that, it's kind of up to you. Like, some people do just want to write and record, or just write and never share it at all. And like, some people want to do more, but booking stuff sucks. And so I get that people don't like to do that. It sucks to send 1,000 emails and get 3 responses.
Yeah. And Neil, what you were saying, like, if Dusty Bo was like making a go of it and it's hard, I'm not even really making a go of it and it's hard.
It's hard.
You know, like last week I had a show that just kind of never picked up, and I'm like, I'm just inconveniencing all these people. What am I even doing here? I could be home, you know, I could be home with my family. And this one's not really going well or anything like that. And I'm, you know, I'm not trying to do this as a full-time thing. I just kind of want to do it around town. It's more like a hobby for me. It is hard.
Yeah. Well, and you're in a unique situation. Well, not unique, but unique to you now, where you do have a 7-month-old at home.
Yeah.
And those nights become real questionable. You go, all right, it's midnight on a Thursday. Who am I singing for? What, you know?
Yeah. You show up at 6 o'clock for your sound check when the show starts at 8, and you don't go on until 9:30 or 10, and you can see you're about to make $7 and play to nobody. Like, it's tough. Yeah,
which is part of the reason that you know, sacrifice the artist part of yourself and do the cover gigs and take that extra $150 or $200, because it's like, well, if I'm going to torture myself to be out of the house, and have a baby or leave my wife to go do this, then I at least need to be able to justify it by bringing some cash home at the end of the night and say, well, it's for my artist self to get out and do it, but at least I can bring some money home at the end of the day. It becomes a real balance when you're in.
Yeah, and I feel like we talk about that every time I've been on. It is such a balance. It is.
Yeah,
it's really hard. You're balancing everything. You're balancing. Most people I've met doing music don't do it as their only thing. They have some type of other job. Like I work full-time job, so you're balancing that. You're balancing your wife and kid. I have a wife. You got pets. You always got something. You got family stuff going on. There's always something to do, and it's like all day I work 10-hour days, but any break I have, I'm like sending a message or doing whatever, and it's like it can get tiring for sure.
It becomes a daunting task if you take a step back and look at the big picture. But if you can just kind of I assume I'm speaking from just not experience, but if you can focus on the little things and do the booking and keep those relationships kind of going, not only the ones at home, those are by far the most important ones, but with the booking and with the other
following up with
musicians.
people and just like making connections and finding kind of spots you can keep hitting up every now and then
Do you find it more important, I guess it's for both of you guys, to have relationships with venues or artists?
I mean, if you want gigs, I think venues. Every once in a while, an artist will have, hey, I have I need someone to open or someone to split a bill with or something like that. That's happened to me very rarely.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in with, especially for what I want to do. Again, I'm playing pretty obscure style of music that I get to play originals for. I have a few venues that let me come in and do my thing once a month. I'll stick with them.
Yeah.
I'll stick with them until they kick me out, I
think I agree with you, as far as like if you're just wanting to book gigs. But I tell you what, man, the one thing, and I've heard you kind of say this a couple times, not that you're putting yourself in a box, but the one thing about this city and the one thing about the musicians in this city is nobody gives a shit what box you're in, and they will ask you, Earl's, even with me and other people, and he's talked about this, getting musicians that aren't necessarily in the same vein as he is. So, I think that you have a ton more people that would be open to having you play on a bill than you think.
I bet so too.
That you are, especially because you have that original music. It's a different style. The one aspect that I love about Louisville and the artists of Louisville is that kind of like exactly what you're doing is it doesn't have to be the same thing. So you can go to a show and get 3 different audiences for 3 different musicians for that night, which generally all those people are open to hearing what everybody else is doing. You might gain a couple fans from people that have come to see, you doing like old school Delta blues type stuff, or Earl doing country, or like Dusty doing more rock,
or like Tyler Hood doing more folk. It's like
those meshes of shows have become like a really cool staple in Louisville that I think exists in very few places, but this is one of them.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm really trying to break out of just blues, because I mean I do a lot of roots, and it's that combination of different artists from like the city all working, not necessarily working together on the same things, but working in proximity to each other, and influences rubbing off on everybody. That is going to be what creates kind of the unique sound of the city, which I think is very exciting. I know with my music alone, I mean, I'm playing a pretty known style of blues, but like there's a little bit of bluegrass picking in some of the songs that I do. I put a lot more gospel in as opposed to like soul or funk into blues, and that's kind of like the southern kind of a Kentucky and kind of southern type of feel. That's kind of all mixed in there, and that happens across the city with all different types of genres, which is going to, like I said, as it keeps evolving and everything, it's going to create our own individual sound, I think, which will be very cool.
Yeah, I definitely think that. There's something trending towards this unique, something else we talk about a ton, unique Louisville sound that it's just different. It's a big conglomerate of a bunch of shit. That when you like a gumbo, a music gumbo. Something I've been, and I might edit all of this out. This is kind of just a conversation for us. It's something I've thought about a ton lately, especially with this moving down to my place and people kind of pull in and see what there is there to offer. It is bonfire season right now, and we had our first one the other day and played some music around it and did some picking and grinning and stuff. And I've thought many times about getting, inviting, let's say you and Zeno and, Spencer's always there anyway when we do stuff like that, but just other musicians around the city and say, hey, let's all come up, sit around the bonfire, bring an instrument, we'll play. We can do like a round thing where we're just playing for each other, sing a song, sing an original, who cares what you do, network, come up, talk about things, have conversations like these, but also have some drinks, throw up a tent if you want to sleep in the field. I've got an RV, I've got a basement. No, I don't know. It'll be a studio soon. I won't have any place for you to sleep in the basement. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's like aspects of real community making that can be done that I wonder how hard would it be to really get people to do it.
I don't think that hard. I mean, I think it's already there, and I mean, I know you said you don't get a lot of shows like from other artists, and certainly like knowing venues is always really good. But I've gotten a lot of shows just from other artists and just like through Instagram.
It's the only shows I get.
Yeah, I mean, like just following
Earl.
people or commenting on people's stuff. Like, I mean, I've been asked to do like, I mean, probably 25% of the shows I do are just things people ask me to do, if not more. And that's some of my more fun shows, and my bigger shows have been like for you playing, for instance, there's a band, the Highlanders, that I really like that I feel like you would fucking rock opening for them. Like they're like a bluesy kind of band, and they're
fun.
They are so good. And but like I would do a show with you anytime. So if you want to do other gigs,
I'll do anything.
Yeah, cool. Hit me up on Instagram and we'll do something, because I would love to do something with you.
Yeah, I think that would be the biggest aspect of doing something like that is actually, and for you, not for you, but I think that meeting other people and realizing, because that was, until I started doing this, that was not something I realized. I didn't realize how great, open and accepting everybody that has been doing this. I can't name you somebody that's been terrible about just arrogant or anything. Everybody's been so gracious with
People
their time.
are cool here.
People are cool.
That's
they
like
want
I
to
said.
do
Sometimes
stuff.
people kind of shit on Louisville's music scene because it is hard to get a crowd. But the people I've met, like as far as other acts, have been just like phenomenal. I heard like back years and years ago was a little more competitive, but it doesn't feel competitive to me. Like at least I've not met anyone. I mean, there's always like, I say this every time, there's always like some dick somewhere.
You've always got somebody.
For the most part, everyone's cool, and it's so great to just meet people in it. And I think it is a community, and I think, like places like the Monarch help foster those things and whatnot. I don't know if you've ever gone up to the Monarch. That's a place you should check out. Good. Yeah, it's a great spot. Yeah. It's
they're not that they're a sponsor or anything like that, but by everybody listening, I mean, if you're listening, you love music. Probably a chunk of you are in this community. Definitely look into supporting the Monarch. You don't have to be a musician. They have membership fees that you can pay that will help in a million different ways. Mark is killing it up there with his ideas.
It is the best spot in town. What they're doing is special.
When it comes to listening to a show and experiencing what it's supposed to be about, there's not a better spot.
There's not. No, this is my favorite shows I've played. Are definitely the ones I've done there.
And my favorite shows I've seen the last
seen some fantastic shows. It's a great room. Everything about it is great. Yeah, if you don't know the Monarch, go look it up. And because any musician who knows of it and any person who knows of it will tell you it's fucking awesome. So
I'm excited because like I said, I just kind of joined in the group now. The nights I can go out for shows are pretty limited because I either have my own or a child at home now. So splitting between that is going to be difficult. But that's kind of my goal for this next year. Is from what I've done, which I'm happy with what I've been able to do in the last year and a half. But I've really done it alone isn't the right word, but like I've not really tapped in much to the community. And I think the next step for me one, to enjoy it more and get more out of it, but two, to be a little more successful is to kind of tie in more with community and
I
stuff
think
like
things
that.
will really start flowing because you're really good. I mean, every act I've seen in here has been really good. But yeah, if you like dive more into, I don't know, like what all you or how you want to get in the communities. Like I've met most of my people going through like open mics and stuff in the Highlands and whatnot. But there's a lot of ways to meet people, and I think a lot of folks around would really like to play with you if you met some more people.
Yeah, dude. I think that's networking opportunities here would be cool. That's kind of like I said, man. Just if we could do some big networking
bonfire network,
just to chill out, come out, hang out.
I'm always down.
Play some music, play some tunes, just get some connections made for stuff like that. For hey, man, we're getting ready to go into winter. It's getting ready to be one of those times where it's sink or swim when it comes to going to a bar. It's either going to be packed or it's going to be empty because it's either too cold or there's something going on. Everybody's there.
Yeah.
So you just kind of gotta.
I was sports season now, big time. Like my next big show I have at the Monarch is on the UK Louisville game, and I was like, "Fuck, I did not mean to do that."
Yeah, dude. Hey, at least you're whoever's going to be there. Whoever's going to be there wants to be listening to the music.
All the wedding venues are open that day, and the Monarch was open that day. It's like, we don't have anything going on today for some reason.
Wide open, dude. You can do whatever you want. What do you want to do, Earl?
But the idea of like a bonfire and like it's the Monarch, but also what the Monarch is doing too, which is really cool, is it's music for the sake of music.
It is,
and that's awesome.
Yeah,
like that's you can't really say much more than it's
like
just what it should be.
If you love music, which you probably do if you're listening, and if you haven't checked out the Monarch, you are really missing out. If you're anywhere even close to driving distance from Louisville, check it out because there are some fantastic shows there. Both local, regional acts come through. There's touring acts. I know like Robert Ellis is coming through. Got
Robert Ellis and Parker
Millsap.
Parker Millsap.
I love Robert Ellis.
I mean, that's just
fantastic shows.
Silly.
It's for everybody. There's BYOB, it's just the best place.
Yeah, dude, we've said it a million times, but the fact that they don't sell anything other than, hey, you can be a member at this place says a million things to me. You're not selling.
It's for the music only, and that's what it should be.
Are you audiophile? Do you like good shit? Buy membership. That should be the slogan.
Yeah.
Do you like music? Do you like good shit? Get a membership. Mark, if you need me, bro, I got you. All right. So, all right, man. Well, I will do the fourth. Favorite bourbon? Do you have this? This stuff is amazing.
I've been really into the Old Forester. They have kind of their standard stuff that's always on the shelf. They have those 3 or 4
the 86
variations.
and the 100, the Prohibition 1920.
Mm-hmm. The Prohibition 1920, I think, is my favorite. That's like a 115.
Sure, the Statesman, is that one of them?
I've had the Statesman. I didn't like it as much as the other, but there is one that's like that. But I just like, I'm starting to like more and more stronger bourbons, higher proof stuff.
Okay.
Because it kind of feels more like the first time I drank bourbon. My well at my house for the longest time was Elijah Craig.
Oh yeah,
and they kind of got wise to. I think they got wise to how good that was.
They started raising it up like $40 now.
It is no longer. That is no longer the case now. So I don't really have a well anymore. I'm trying to find one.
The stuff that I brought down here tonight's a good well. It's that Evan Williams 100 because it's 100.
Yeah.
Even the Old Forester 100. That's the house bourbon in this house.
Yeah.
We would do a ton of Old Forester 100 in here, and it gives you just enough of that bite. Like I said, it still makes you feel like you're a virgin. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I was drinking the Elijah Craig for the longest time, and like I barely would even tell I was drinking. Like I still enjoyed it and was soothing and relaxing and everything, but like it was too easy to drink. It was too smooth.
So I wish I would have thought about it because I would have brought down the. Have you ever had Four Gates whiskey?
I have not.
All right, Four Gate Whiskey Company is my buddy Bob, and he's an owner. I think he's like chief barrel operators, but he gave himself some weird title just so he knows he can have fun. But anyway, the stuff's like $200 a bottle. It's crazy. It's good. And every now and again, he'll throw me a sample. And he just pulled some stuff the other day. It's a Sherberry rye, some type of like wine cask mixed with like an 8-year-old or 12-year-old bourbon. I don't even know at this point. He's given me so many. But dude, everything they have is just unbelievable. I mean, and it's all 120, 117 to like 123 proof. Benefits.
The best thing you could have in this city, if you like bourbon,
and
there are plenty of them, is a bourbon guy.
Oh,
a buddy
To
that
have a
knows.
bourbon.
I have a buddy
Hey.
who really knows it, and I lean on him really hard now for like recommendations and stuff like that. Because I'm looking for my $40 well bottle, that I
Okay.
can have in house all the time. Anyone can spend $80-$90 and find a
Not
good
gonna do
bourbon,
it. Not
but
gonna
it's
do
can
that.
you find that $40 bottle?
Oh, dude, you could still get Russell Reserve 10-year for $40
I know,
bottle.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, you can.
that's good. That's a good. If you're gonna spend 40, what's better than having a bourbon guy is having a bourbon owner that owns his own company. That's the kicker.
I thought you were gonna say having a weed guy. I was like, well, let me know.
I mean, we eventually we'll all have a weed guy when that shit's legal in a matter of time, and then we'll just go straight to the dispensary like a good human should. All right, man. So for all our listeners that want to, number one, buy this record, find you online, know where you're going to play, listen to you through Spotify, where can they find you?
So I am on like Spotify, iTunes, and the like. I have a website that's just zenojones.com. And that I usually go in and I update and have like the next 3 or 4 shows listed out there. But a big one, I don't know when, I think this has probably come out in a few weeks.
Probably 2 or 3 weeks.
November 17th is when my album is dropping. So Dissolution Blues, which I record here with
up,
Brad
dude.
and
Hold
Top
it up.
Hill. Yeah. Hold it up.
Cut.
I have CD. I have records and I also got CDs as well, but that's coming out on the 17th.
Hold that up, man.
The location of it is,
What about these buttons?
I just hand those out.
Ah, man. Phil, you should charge like extra for the button, man.
Yeah.
They should have to buy the record to get the button because that button's awesome.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
yeah.
I shouldn't just give those things away. I should.
I'm sure you
that could be
paid
my
for
big
'em.
moneymaker. But but on the 17th, I'm trying to put together some sort of release show on that time. But if you just kind of I'm on social media. I don't do as good a job as I should, but on Zeno J Jones at Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, I try to announce and give heads up for when I'm doing things. But that's basically the best place to find me.
All right, so November 17th.
November the 17th.
And if you can't find a place, we're doing a Top Hill bonfire dedicated. Zeno Jones is the main guest. And then that's what we're going to do if you can't find a spot.
Yep.
Hey, dude,
We'll do it.
we can charge. We can probably fit 100 cars in my yard.
Yeah.
I know we've fit 100 cars
Easy.
in it before.
Easy.
Now we just got to find.
We can
100
charge by the
100
car
people.
load, $20 a car load. As many people as you can get there, we can park 100 cars. I don't know how much that is. What's that? It's a few thousand. That's what somebody $1,000. I can't do math. Is that $20,000?
I can't do math either, and it's bad.
Is it
What was the question?
2,000?
Is 100
2,000.
cars and
100 cars,
Yeah.
$20 a
Yeah.
car.
It's
Yeah.
$2,000.
$2,000.
All right, we need to charge more.
$200 a car.
$200 a car, 10 cars allowed.
And you get a
So that's
free
still
button
2,000. Nah,
with,
shit.
with the $200.
Yeah, every car gets a free button. Perfect. We got this.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, looking forward to the release. I'm super stoked that I have a advanced copy, and I tell you, man, I love it. You and Brad killed it. Your performance was awesome, and big shout out to Brad, my brother, Brad Weston, on the mix on that, man. It sounds amazing. So,
Yeah, great job, man. Great to meet you. Those are great tunes.
Thank you all. Thank you all for having me again. And yeah, if I put together more songs, I'll be right back here or in your new basement.
Let's
studio
go,
to do it.
man.
All right.
all right, brother. November 17th, everybody get that record.